Hello guys, how you doing? It's brother Mason and I'm back once again, and I know it's been quite a long time since I've made any video or any updated or any current video lately. And sometimes there's a lot of things that you get stuck up with in life. You know what I'm saying? Nobody lives a perfect life. Sometimes you have to handle a little business, now and time again. And that is just the nature of life, I'm afraid. And if anybody tells you they live a perfect life, do you know what? Run away from them, because they are lying. Every single person goes through some kind of a roller coaster thing, and every single person has to deal with certain things, privately, publicly, or whatever way. But yes, we all go through certain phases, and I've just been handling some few things as well, just like every one of us. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching my video. If you're watching, and I don't know what time it is wherever you are, it could be the morning, it could be the afternoon, it could be in the evening. But whatever that you are doing, and wherever you are, stay blessed and always put a smile on your face. Okay, I know that a lot of people do not agree with some of the things that I've said in the past, or some of the things that I do try to communicate with the general populace. Some people actually think my message is actually like it's kind of like an antichrist, or it's kind of like of a satanic or devilish nature, because I do not preach the status quo. Do you know what I mean? I'm not the kind of person that comes here and tell you what you want to hear. I am here to tell you the truth. I've done a few researches for quite a long time, and most of the things that I do research, I come and share with you. I'm not saying that I am perfect. I'm not saying that I am truthful. I am not saying that I am an authority in all the things that I do say, but I just come and share things with you. And if you think this whatever that I say here is not true, you're more than welcome to criticize me. You're more than welcome to engage with me in an intellectual debate, as long as it's all respectful, and as long as it's all constructive. Do you know what? That is how we grow up as a people, and that's how we develop as a nation and as a human race. I mean, if you look back, if you go back even to antiquity, even to ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, ancient Babylonia, ancient Rome, they used to have intellectual debates, public debates, and people used to be criticized. I mean, even the big giants like the philosophers like Socrates, do you know what I mean? They used to engage in public debates with other people, other philosophers. And I am not saying that I am the best. No, I never claim that. What I do is just express my opinions with you, my people, okay? And obviously, some people are gonna like them or appreciate them, and some people gonna be thinking I am talking rubbish. But that's totally understandable. Okay, I do not hold any single grudge to you at all, my brother or my sister. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I always say all the time in all my videos. Okay, nature is the best teacher. Okay, for example, it can be summer today, right? Not every single person gonna like the blazing sun, being so hot in summer, radiating with all that radiation, with all that light, with all that heat. Not every single person is gonna like it, but so it is. Not every single person is gonna like a winter because it's gonna be cold, but so it is. Not every single person is gonna like autumn because it's raining, but so it is. Not every single person gonna like spring because it's kind of like a sunny, but at the same time a bit coldish as well. But hey, so it is. It's just the nature of life. Okay, so people can do have opinions. People can do have certain perceptions. It does not mean that you have to take him, but you just have to take it as it is. You know what I'm saying? Every single person do have an opinion, and you also do have an opinion, and you should never ever be scared to express your opinion. And nobody should ever stop you from expressing your opinion. So that's what I'm trying to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, today. So today, Brother Mason, what are you going to be talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm glad that you've asked. I thought you would, I thought you was never going to ask. Okay, today we're going to go to church, ladies and gentlemen. I know that it's midweek, it's not even Sunday, and I don't even go to church. But we're gonna go to church today, all right? And we're gonna read from the Bible. And the Bible that I'm using today is a New International Version. I don't know what kind of versions do you use, but I use the. I've got I've got about 6 or 7 different versions of the Bible, but I happen to just pick the New International Version, and there's no there's no special reason for it. It just happened to be in this collection of books right in the back there. So I just pick it up. But I've got lots of books, lots of Bibles somewhere else. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be reading from the Bible. We're going to church, and we're going to be reading from the book of Mark. And the book of Mark, for those people that do not know where it is in the New Testament. Is actually the first book of the New Testament. And we're going to be reading from the chapter 15, from verse 1 to 15. And I know some people are going to be asking, why did you choose the book of Mark? I purposely chose the book of Mark because there's a special reason for it. The book of Mark was actually the first book that was written in the Bible. I know that in the Bible, the first book is actually Matthew. It's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That is the order it is laid in the New Testament. But for the scholars and for the researchers and for people that actually know, or the biblical scholars and all that, it is actually the book of Mark that was written before the book of Matthew. It is the book of Mark that was written before the book of Luke and John. Mark was written in AD 60. Okay, Matthew was written in about AD 70 to AD 80, and Luke was written about AD 90, and John was written in, give or take, AD 100. Okay, so the first book that was written is actually the book of Mark. And for those people that really know a lot about the Bible, you can actually tell that Mark is so different from Matthew, Luke, and John, because it's not very autobiographical. There is not a lot of stories that revolve around the story or the life of Jesus. It's not very autobiographical. It's not very detailed. And I'm gonna explain to you next time why it is like that. Because the book of Mark, even though it says it was written by Mark, nobody knows. There is no authorship. There is no authentication of the authorship of Mark. Mark, it wasn't a disciple of Jesus. The person that wrote the book of Mark, their person is not called Mark. It is only attributed to Mark. Okay, and the person or the persons who wrote the book of Mark were very much aligned to a metaphysical or a symbolic or a metaphorical Jesus. Okay, but I'm going to try to explain that on the next video. Today I just want to go straight to the point. I want to talk about something very specific. Okay, but yes, the book of Mark, I chose it because it is the first book that was written in about AD 60. So it's his first book, and all the other books were copied from Mark. So Matthew, Luke, and John were all copied from Mark. even though we know that the Bible was transliterated or translated into so many different languages. We know that it was written firstly in Aramaic and in Hebrew, then it was translated into Greek, and then into Latin, then into English. Okay, so obviously there's a lot of things that were lost through all those translations, but at least Mark is the closest we've got to the truth as far as we are concerned. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be reading from the book of Mark. So, open your Bible, book of Mark, chapter 15, verse 1 to 15. Okay, let me just have a little drink. Okay, and the book of Mark, the title is actually called Jesus Before Pilate. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to read it for you. Okay, hopefully you can actually understand my reading. Very early in the morning, the chief priests with the elders, the teachers of the law, and the whole Sanhedrin reached a decision. They bound Jesus, led him away, and turned him over to Pilate. Verse 2. Are you the king of the Jews? Asked Pilate. Yes, it is as you say, Jesus replied. Verse 3. The chief priests accused him of many things. So again Pilate asked him, aren't you going to answer? See how many things they are accusing you of. But Jesus still made no reply, and Pilate was amazed. Verse 6. Now it was the custom at the feast to release a prisoner whom the people requested. Verse 7. A man called Barabbas was in prison with the insurrectionists. Okay, let me repeat again. Verse 7. A man called Barabbas was in prison with the insurrectionists. I've got absolutely no idea what that means. Who had committed murder in the uprising. The crowd came up and asked the Pilate to do for them what he usually did. Verse 9. Do you want me to release to you the king of the Jews? Asked Pilate. Knowing it was out of envy that the chief priest had handed Jesus over to him. Verse 11. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead. Verse 12. What shall I do then with the one you call the king of the Jews? Pilate asked them. Crucify him, they shouted. Verse 14. Why? What crime has he committed? Asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, Crucify him. Verse 15. Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the reading for today. Like I said, we are at church today, the church of Brother Mason, and hopefully you're going to come back again next time. Okay, and I'm sorry we haven't got praise and worship, we haven't got singers and all that. Okay, but at least what we do here is to tell the truth. What we do here is to try to communicate the truth to you. As you all know, like I say to you, the Bible is symbolical. The Bible is a metaphorical. The Bible is not literal. The Bible is not secular history. The Bible is not as if you're going to go back to whatever that you've heard or read, and you're going to go back in history and actually pinpoint to when, how, and where it happened. Okay, the Bible is not secular history. I purposely chose this verse or this chapter because of the topic I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, today. You see, the truth is not something that people are willing to accept. The truth is not something that people would want to have in life. Given two choices, a truth and a lie, people would always choose a lie over truth. For some reason, it is just the nature of men. I don't know what it is. We've got some inherent kind of mechanism within us that actually always make us dispute and disregard and discard the truth and choose a lie all the time. In this story, Pontius Pilate was actually a Roman governor. And as a Roman governor, he was in charge of any local cases that happened in his governorship or in his state. So a case was brought forward to him by the Jews. And they say there is a man who is claiming to be the king of the Jews, which is in this case Jesus Christ. And Pontius Pilate had to jurisdicate, he has to make a judgment over that case. Now, according to the Roman culture and the Roman custom, every single year, I think it was almost at the end of the year, there was some kind of a custom, okay, that happened every, I think it was almost near Christmas time, okay, and customly in the Roman way of doing things, every single year a prisoner was pardoned. Okay, every single year a prisoner, one single prisoner was pardoned at that time of the year because it was their culture. Now, given the culture and given the time of the year, Pontius Pilate was faced with the two options: either to release one of the prisoners, and the prisoners that he had were two different prisoners. There was a Barabbas. Barabbas was a serial offender. Barabbas was somebody who had committed so much crimes in the community. He was what you might call an outcast of in a community. And there was Jesus, who was a good guy, who was representing the truth. So in this case, Barabbas is representing a lie. Barabbas is representing something evil. And Jesus Christ is representing or is symbolical of something that is truthful or something that is good. But the Jews, when Pontius Pilate asked them, which one do you want? Which one do you want me to release? Is according to our custom. It's according to our Roman custom. Which one do you want me to release? Because I got the power to release at least one person, one prisoner. And the people, the Jews, they said, we want Barabbas out. We want a lie. We want evilness. We want somebody who is symbolical, somebody who is representing a lie. We want Barabbas. We want a murderer. We want a sinner. We want somebody who is evil. We want a lie. We want deception. We don't want the truth. We don't want somebody. We don't want anything that is truthful. We don't want something that's going to enlighten us. We don't want something that's going to awaken us. No. Crucify him. Put him to the cross. Kill him. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very powerful story because it is very perennial, even though this story has happened to many generations. This story has happened to so many civilizations. This story has happened to so many cultures. This story has happened to so many people. Every single time, people always choose a lie over a truth. If you come with so many lies, if you come with so much deception, people will always fall entrapped to a lie over the truth. I mean, if you look like in Africa, if you look in Zimbabwe, if you look in all these happy clappy Pentecostal churches and all that, you've got all these prophets, all these so-called papas or man of gods who always claiming to have supernatural powers, who claim to be so close to the grand architect of the world or the divine being or God, as you guys call him. And these people, a lot of people actually believe them. A lot of people actually accept them. These people are charlatans. These people are lies. These people represent deception. But the majority of the people always accept a lie over a truth. If you come to people and you tell them you do not need to go to church, you do not need to belong to a certain group of a religious sect, you do not need to do this and that for you to know God, because God is within you. God is actually you. God is a spirit that became flesh. God is you in flesh. Tell these people to tell this message to people. People are gonna persecute you. Tell this message to people. People are gonna crucify you, because people aren't ready for the truth, and people will never accept the truth, because they will accept deception over truth every single time. According to the Roman custom, they had an option to release one prisoner, a prisoner that represented truth and enlightenment and awakening and salvation, or a prisoner that representing deception, murder, evilness. Which one do you want? The crowd, the Jews, told the governor Pontius Pilate, we want Barabbas out. We want deception out. We want false preaching. We want false prophets. We want these magicians masquerading as a prophet or man of God. This is what we want. We don't want to hear the truth. If you hear somebody was telling you that, you know what, God is actually within you. If you hear somebody telling you or repeating exactly what Jesus has been teaching in all of the New Testament, that the kingdom of God is within you, or he has been reminding you that don't you know that you are God's, people aren't prepared for that. People love lies. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my teaching to you today. And it's up to you. When you've been given, when you are facing Pontius Pilate, which one do you want? Do you want a lie or do you want the truth? You make your decision, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you so much for being with me. I'm going to come back with so many teachings, and I'm going to get even more, dig deeper and go even deeper with metaphysical teachings, and hopefully it's going to make a big difference in your life. Okay, if it doesn't, that's fine. And like I say to you, wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and take care of yourself, and always keep on smiling. Okay, so boy Mason. All right, I'm out. Bye.